So now for example number 3, we're going to talk about this concept of a sector. So if I have a circle, a perfectly drawn circle, and the center of the circle is P, and I have a radius and a radius, perfectly drawn radiuses, and they intersect the circle at point A and B, then the area of sector APB is equal to the measure of AB over 360 degrees pi r squared. So this is the relationship. So the area of the circle is equal to it's a portion or percentage or part. It's a part of the whole. So this is the area of the circle based on the radius. And this is the measure of the central angle, which is the measure of the arc in degrees, and over the total circle, which is 360 degrees. So this is a proportion, and if I wanted to, I could also rewrite this proportion. The area of sector APB is equal to the measure of AB, the central angle, or I should say, which is the same as the measure of the central angle, over 360. But now if I multiply that top line, if I multiply this by pi over, like pi r squared, and then multiply this side by pi r squared, in other words, if I multiply both sides by the area of a circle, I'll get a new formula that looks like this. Okay? So this is probably the one that we'll use the most. Alright, so now for example number 3, we're given a perfectly drawn circle where the center is T. There's a point over here that's S. And then there's a point over here that's U. And a point over here that is V. And this is 8. And this central angle is 70 degrees. And what they want us to find is find the areas, plural, formed by angle UTV. So there's two angles here. One is 730, or I mean, one is 70. So we're going to say that the measure of UV is equal to 70 degrees. But there's another measure that we can consider, which is USV. And in other words, this is 70 degrees, but what about this whole thing here? Because it divides it into two sectors, really, when you think about it. So this is 70 degrees, right? But what's this whole thing out here, USV? Well, the measure of that arc is just going to be 360 minus the 70, which is equal to 290 degrees. So if I wanted to find the area of the small sector, that's just going to be 70 degrees over 360 times pi r squared. Actually, let me write the formula in, since this is the example. So I'm going to say the measure of UV, and then in the next line I'm going to get 70 degrees over 360 times pi times pi r squared. Oh wait, that's 8. Now if I plug all that in the calculator, it's 39.10. Okay. Remember you got to follow order of operations, so this becomes 64. And then this, you got to do this first, then multiply by pi, then multiply by 64. So now the area of the large sector is equal to the measure of USV over 360, still pi times r squared. So the measure of that would be 290 over 360 times 8 squared, and that would equal 161.97. Okay?